everyone. Welcome to another Facebook Live video from Bradley University Admissions Office. This video is targeted for students who have been admitted to Bradley and are interested in learning more about the orientation process. We've all been through orientation, and a few of us have actually been orientation leaders as well. So we're going to go around and introduce ourselves, our major, where we're from, and a few things we're involved in. So my name is Joanna Verarocha. I'm a senior sociology and criminal justice major. I'm from Round Lake, Illinois. A few things that I'm involved in, like I mentioned, I am an orientation leader. I'm a part of Bradley University Fellows. I'm a tour guide for the admissions office. I'm a peer educator for the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, and I'm the president of my sorority. So that's pretty much me.
Hi guys, I'm Melissa. I'm a freshman and I'm a journalism and political science double major from St. Louis, Missouri. I am involved in the Bradley Fellows program. I'm a tour guide for the admissions office. I'm involved in Greek life, and I'm on my dorm's hall council.
Hi everybody, my name's Dave Jensen. I'm a junior business management and leadership major, and I'm from Warrenville, Illinois. Just a couple things I'm involved in. Of course, I work in the admissions office, and I was also a orientation leader with Joanna for 2 years. I'm in a social fraternity, and I'm also very active in the Foster College of Business, so I work with some human resources stuff, and then I also do some recruiting over there, and work in a business fraternity as well. I also work closely with the Alumni Association, so that's really cool to make that connection. And then I also am in a group called Bradley Heat, where we kind of educate about important things on campus. So, yeah. All right. Do we have any questions?
So while we're waiting for our questions, feel free to comment if you have any questions, regardless of when you're tuning in, or if you want to comment, and then we'll answer the questions later. I guess we can kind of just start off by talking about committing to Bradley in a sense. Does anyone want to talk about that process? Like, once you get accepted, what happens?
Sure. So once you get accepted, you want to make sure that you submit your, of course, acceptance deposit, and then your enrollment deposit, and then you're going to submit a housing deposit. So all of those things are really important in kind of your next steps in making sure that you've got a spot secured here at Bradley, because of course we really want to have you. So securing your enrollment deposit is the first thing that you're going to do when you kind of accept Bradley's acceptance. And then the housing deposit, once you secure that, that is going to get you in a line for when you can pick your roommate and do your housing selection. So for instance, let's say I submitted my housing deposit before Joanna, then I would have a little more of a priority of a room pick. So I've never had a problem with room picking or with your roommates and stuff on campus. I got my first priority when I was a freshman, and I worked out really well. So what about you guys?
When did you deposit?
I think I deposited on my visit day. So when I toured campus, I think I deposited that day.
What month was that?
March, and that was actually
it was
late.
March. Right, cool.
So it was the last day of March.
Yeah.
So it was still pretty late, and I still got my first choice.
Yeah, because I remember I deposited it was right after my birthday, so maybe April 27th, April 28th.
Okay.
And I got my second choice, which is still pretty good for housing choices, and I loved what I picked. I would put it first if I could.
Yeah.
I deposited on my visit day 2, and it was early April, and my roommate and I were going to try and be on the honors floor, which is a really competitive thing anyway. So going into it, we're oh, it probably won't happen, and we were both pleasantly surprised when it actually did happen.
Mm-hmm.
So especially to be a freshman and get onto that was kind of exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point that you brought up. There's the only designated floors that are available at Bradley is an honors floor. There isn't really any floors that are just specific to majors, because they want to build community and they want to make sure that other students are interacting with people that are in other majors, involved with different things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's important to note too that even if you said your roommate was in the honors program too?
Yes.
Yeah, that even if your roommate's in the honors program and you're not, and you're interested in living on the floor, you could do that too.
Yeah, and I know I wouldn't have met half of my floor still if I still see them around campus now. I have no idea where they're living, but I still see them. I'm hey, you were on my freshman first semester floor, which was a really big thing. So it's kind of cool to follow up with them. And yeah, they were a big gaming floor, and I'm not into gaming, but it was awesome because I still could I learned more than I thought I was going to. So they were yeah, this is what we're playing. They would always stay up super late. I'm oh hey, this is awesome. So yeah, it was good.
How did y'all meet your roommates?
There's this super cool app that we have now called Inside Bradley, and it has this wonderful feature where you can like do the roommate finder, and it's actually only been like around for a couple of years. So I use the roommate finder, and basically you go through and take like a short little quiz and answer a few questions about like your living habits, and like, do you like to stay up late, do you like to make a lot of noise, like all kinds of stuff like that. And it kind of like matches you up based on percentage with like other people who have taken the test, and then like, oh hey, this person and I matched like 92%, we'd probably be good roommates. So then you can like message them and be like, hey, like I see we matched a whole lot, we should totally be roommates, or like start talking or something. So it's kind of like the roommate version of online dating. So but like once you like find someone and you really connect with them, then it gets a lot better.
I would definitely open with like, hey, we both make a ton of noise, want to be roommates? Like, I think that's what I would have to say. But I totally went random. I did not really have anyone that I knew coming to Bradley. There were a couple people from my high school, but I wasn't all in the whole like loop with all that stuff. So I was like, hey, like it's gonna be someone that I've never met before, and like we can just kind of like learn about each other and where we're from. So it worked out really, really well. We had a great time. I still see him around campus. He's also a business major, so. Yeah. What about you?
I met my roommate not really random, but not really like through the app either. We actually met an overnight stay program. So like the overnight stay program is like when you stay with a current student. And they do programs for like students who are visiting, and they do like programs, or they like allow us to go to programs for current students at Bradley. So like our two hosts were like friends, and like so we would like hang out. So then when we like were getting to know each other, she was only like 20 minutes away from me. So then we like hung out right after that overnight stay program, and then we're like, oh yeah, like you're pretty cool, like let's be roommates. So like I didn't know her going into Bradley, but I met her because of Bradley, if that kind of like makes sense. Yeah, so it was like really good for the like first 3 years, and then like obviously we get like new friend groups, and like I still see her around and like say hi and stuff. But like yeah, like that's how I found my roommate.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Sweet.
And then I know like especially with when I did random, I just wanted to make sure that like we were bringing different stuff, so we didn't bring like 2 microwaves and 2 fridges. So that's like really honestly the only communication we had. I was like, hey, like you bring in the chair, I'll bring the TV. Like it was really good, and I mean it worked out great. So you know, it was a good room. I miss my freshman room, but it was good. It was clean, not like my room now.
I don't know if my room is necessarily clean. I always try, but it never really works out as much as I'd like it to.
What dorm do you live in?
I live in Williams.
Williams.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Williams is one of my favorites just because like it has like it's really like close to everything, and it has a dining hall, and it has center court, which is like a place where you can get like burgers and fries and sandwiches. So like I have all of the food available to me all the time. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
no, that's so true. I was
Did you live in Williams?
Yeah,
you
when I was
did.
my first semester as a resident advisor, I did. So it was, oh my gosh, I could go downstairs in my pajamas and just get that late night burger. I did all the time. I did.
Did you just live in Williams?
No, it was my second semester freshman year, so it was a couple years ago.
First semester.
And then I moved to Geyser.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I've actually lived in all of them except for Heights. Yeah, yeah, I know, it's pretty cool. So yeah, all right. So flashing forward, then, what? How did you like sign up for orientation and then like do that?
The orientation process, you sign up online and, right, yes, online, you sign up online and you pick like 3 dates that would work for you. They have all the dates like listed out, and you put like your, you know, first choice, second choice, and third choice, and then you get an email back saying, you know, oh hey, this is the one we have you put in, we reserved you a spot, and you can go ahead and like make hotel arrangements if your parents want to stay, or your parents are able to stay on Bradley's campus with you. And from there you just were able to kind of like plan around your orientation visit.
A little bit about like the orientation process at Bradley. It's very unique to a lot of different other schools. A lot of schools is maybe like a 1-day event. You pick out your classes, maybe like have a few presentations of what the different offices have to offer. But at Bradley is a 2.5-day event, and there's an optional orientation for parents as well. And the reason why it's 2.5 days is because Bradley wants students and parents and family and guests to know all the resources that are available for them, as well as picking out their classes. And like aside from like all like the important stuff and on like the nitty-gritty stuff, there's also like the fun aspect to orientation. So like every student that goes through orientation receives a student aide, which is like an orientation leader, and then you get paired up in like a little group, and each group has like a team name. And there's activities that the student aides have planned out throughout, like they plan orientation like the semester before, so all that stuff is laid out. So we take them to the Market Recreation Center for orientation. We do like a group video project, but those are always so fun. There's like the improv group on campus, like Barbecue Kitten, that performs, or we play like other activities just to like build connections right away too, because I know a lot of people like meet their roommates through orientation as well, because you are staying on campus for 2.5 days, like in the dorms.
I would say it's probably a pretty high percentage of people that meet their roommate at orientation. I think I've heard more, especially this year, I've heard more often than not that they, even if they weren't rooming together at orientation, they still met their roommate at orientation. A lot of the time, if you find your roommate on the Inside Bradley app, they choose to go to the same orientation session so that you can meet each other in person there in case you like live far away or something. So I think, I mean, for me, orientation is probably one of the greatest things I've been involved in here at Bradley. Just being able to be on the flip side and being a student aide with Joanna. We put so much time and effort because we care and we love it, and I think that definitely translates over into the students. So Melissa, being a freshman, most recent experience, what was your favorite part about orientation?
I think my favorite part about orientation was just like the energy that you guys brought to it, because like you know, like it's orientation, so like it has the potential to be like really super boring, just like a bunch of like endless presentations, but you guys really did try and make it interesting, so like it wasn't just 2.5 days of like presentation after presentation after presentation and like a whole bunch of rules. Like there was still, you know, fun things that you got to do, like we got to go to the Market Center and do all kinds of like fun activities. So honestly, the whole process of orientation just made me really excited to be at Bradley. It just didn't make me feel like, oh, there's so many things that I have to do, like I'm obligated to do so many things before I even come to college. It just made me feel like even more excited to like be on Bradley's campus.
Yeah, I remember I was later at the end of July, so I was like one of the last sessions, and I was like, why am I even going home? Like, I just want to stay on campus. Like, I don't even want to go back home, but yeah, so I remember, if I flash back to my orientation, I was so nervous, like driving down with my mom. I was like, oh my gosh, like I have no idea what to expect, like I don't know like how everyone else is going to be, like I kind of knew, we try to cap the orientations at like 80 to 85 students, so I knew like pretty much a general size, but I was still like, oh my gosh, that's still a lot of people that I've never met before, but like the instant that I checked in, I just felt so much more comfortable, and I was like, oh, this is why I chose Bradley. This is the place that I need to be. So yeah, it was, I mean, for me it was really good, and then by the time I was done, like I said, I didn't even want to leave campus. So yeah,
I know, like for me personally, like Bradley wasn't my first choice. So like once I chose Bradley, like I knew it was where I was initially undecided, so I knew that's where like they were gonna help me the most, like be at Bradley. So at orientation I was like, oh man, like so nervous to like come to orientation, and then when I left, like so relieved that I'm like reassured like in my choice for Bradley. And like I remember being so nervous to like make friends, because I don't know, you get like all these crazy thoughts in your head, but I was a lifeguard for 3 years, and that year I was so dark, and I had like a sunglasses tan, and one girl in my group, she was like, are you a lifeguard? And I was like, yeah, and she's like, I have a sunglasses tan too. And like she's actually my roommate. Like now,
goodness.
Like my senior year roommate is my friend from orientation. So like that just shows like how the connections you make at orientation, and like that's another reason why it's so long, like 2.5 days, because you connect and like bond. Like even though she wasn't my roommate for the last 3 years, like she was still my friend. Like we would have study dates, and like even when she like studied abroad last semester, like I still kept in connection with her and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no, I would never wear sunglasses when I was a lifeguard because I didn't want the tan. I never did. I was
dangerous.
Like, no, really. But yeah, I mean, orientation is like more than just the connections too, even though that is like the baseline and obviously the best part. You do get to pick your classes, I think, which is like kind of the general norm for all college orientations. But for me, when I got to pick my classes, it wasn't really a nervous thing. It was more of like, wow, like I'm actually doing this, like this is like coming, like ready or not, like here I come kind of thing. And it was just so exciting to be like, yes, I'm a real life college student. So
right.
Yeah.
And I think for me too, like with that whole process, it was like I was like so giddy. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Like this is like the the next big step, and it was kind of fun to be able to like sit down and like plan it all out and be like, ooh, like I would like to have like a 1 hour block to take a nap right on this day at this time. So like we'll just not have a class during that time. And I think it's really nice to be able to like have that kind of input into your schedule. And I think that was like the part of setting my schedule that I was looking forward to most.
Yeah. And like there's always also a misconception that like if you register for the last orientation you're gonna get like the worst classes, but it's not true because the registration process is very like I guess like monitored and like spaced out, that there's enough classes for every student in every like class. Like if there's 30 seats in one class, they're only gonna give out 5-8 seats per orientation session to make sure like there's enough opportunity. So like that's also like really nice about the orientation process and picking out your classes, aside from like having like the freedom and being excited. Like I was just excited to like not have a 7 o'clock class.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, I forget that when I like sometimes my sister texts me at like 6:30 and I'm like, I'm awake, but I'm like, why are you awake? I'm that's cool. But and I mean really just overall orientation was just such a helpful aid with the adjustment process from like coming from high school to college. I know that for me I was a little bit nervous, as everybody probably is, you know. It's I think the common misconception is that like, oh my gosh, I'm the only one that's nervous. Like everyone else is like ready for this, like, but you know, like it's just me. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like is everyone else ready? And like have they prepared? They probably prepared more than me. But I mean like, and you know me, I was a huge procrastinator. So the orientation was just such a huge help in like making sure that like this was the right place and like knowing that I had all the tools that I could to succeed, just like even from the first day of my freshman year. So did it like help with the adjustment process for you guys?
I think for me, like, because we basically lived on campus for 2 days with a roommate, it really helped me like realize like, oh, I didn't think about this, like I should totally bring a trash can, or I didn't think about this, I should bring this and that. So like it was really nice to like kind of have that, because like you put stuff in your bag and you're like, oh, I'm just staying overnight for a couple of days, but then you start to realize like, hey, like it would be really nice to have this on campus, or like in the room, it would be really nice to have this. So for me, like the whole time, like I had like a little like notepad on my phone going like, I need to bring this, and just as like a way of like helping me like remember like all the fun stuff that I wanted to put into my dorm. So it really helped me like create like the perfect college like prep list. Yeah. Because I'm like a very type A person. I want to have everything sorted out.
No, I am. Yeah, I am, definitely. It was a good, I definitely use that checklist that you get from, we either get it at orientation or get it in the mail, where it's like, okay, shower caddy, shampoo, loofah. Like, yes, all of those things you just gotta keep checking off. So, yeah. But, and then, yeah, it was really nice for me to be able to be on campus away from my mom too. So like of course she came to orientation with me, and like again it is optional for the parents to attend. My mom loved it. Oh my gosh, she wants to come back. But it was still really nice for us to have like that kind of separation, but still we would like eat some meals together, and we would still be able to text like, hey, how was your day? Like what did you do? Even though I barely saw her. So I think that's like really well monitored too. So yeah.
What are like some resources or like offices that you learned about at orientation that you didn't like know before, or like didn't think about?
I think one that is really important that like everyone is going to use whenever they come on campus is the health services office, which I knew was like a thing, but I didn't know like what exactly it all entailed. And they do everything from like flu shots and just like regular checkups and all kinds of stuff, counseling, anything that you could possibly think of that a regular doctor's office can do, they can do it for you. So it was really nice being able to know that resource was there, and like having like all this stuff available. Like we were sitting in this presentation, they were like, oh, like everyone take out your phone and put this number in, because this is the health services phone number. So it was just nice to be able to have that at your fingertips.
Yeah, I think for me, I learned a lot about like my College of Business in general. I think I learned a lot about like what I can do academically, because like of course like it's I know that like every college has like health services and stuff like that. I was like, okay, like it's probably provided, I can learn more about it. But I definitely learned about like what I can do in just like academic wise, so like study abroad and like the different classes I can take, and like meeting other business majors when I'm making my schedule. I think that was honestly the best part, because I'll never forget the business majors that were in my orientation. So, and that's just because like Bradley is just the perfect size. That I think that's what it comes down to, is that we have that community that is developed from the first time you walk on campus until the time you graduate. So yeah, attendance, like that's my favorite part, hands down. But yeah. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, the like course load between high school and college, I know I did not study as much in high school as much as I study here. I was one of those kind of like natural things. I don't know if any of you guys are like experiencing where it's like, oh, I have an English quiz, but you know, I read the chapter and you know now I'm like set to go. But definitely in college, it wasn't a huge shock, I don't think, especially because there's tutoring offered. So I used that my freshman year. I don't know if either of you guys used tutoring before.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I love it. I sat down for math. Yeah, that was what I needed it for. And they helped me so much, and I instantly saw like my quiz grades being improved, and yeah, it was never a hard adjustment for me, academic wise, I don't think. What about you guys? Like academics between high school and
like
college?
high school and
Yeah,
college.
yeah.
It's because you're talking so much. Like, forgot your question was. I think for me, it was kind of hard of a transition, but I personally didn't feel like it was more of a workload. I feel like it was because I had more time on my hands that I didn't
That's
know
true.
how to handle it. So like I was in class maybe 9 hours a week. And in high school, you're in class for like 7,
Right.
8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So like that was hard for me to do the work outside of class, and even like putting the time out, because like you realize like once you're a freshman that like a lot of the assignments professors expect you to do them before you go to class,
Right.
and if you don't do them, you're gonna be behind, and
Right.
you're gonna be setting yourself behind. Like they're not gonna go over it; they're just gonna add on to it. So that was like kind of hard, and like adjusting to that. Because like I personally don't think like college is that much harder, just like managing your time,
Oh, yeah.
definitely, and like making sure you stay on top of your assignments. Because like I felt like high school was pretty like I guess a lot of workload
Yeah.
too, personally.
It was just really regimented.
Yeah.
You know, you always had somewhere to go. You know, I always had band right after high school, and then, you know, you come home at night and you grab a quick dinner before you go back for, you know, more band or like
Yeah.
whatever. At least that was my life. But yeah,
Right.
so. And I mean, with those time gaps, I feel like it's all about getting involved, I think. So, since you're still a freshman, how easy was it to get involved your freshman year?
For me, it was like super easy because like in welcome week, one of the first big activities that they have is like an activities fair all across the quad, and like every single club has a table, and you can go and talk to some of the members and like get information about the clubs, and there's like a club for like every single interest out there possible. We have like cereal club and car enthusiast club, like fraternities and sororities, and all kind of like service and leadership activities, and just everything you can possibly think of. So for me, I was kind of like the person who like overcommitted. So I was like, oh, this sounds fun. I bet I could do this. Like I'll sign up for every single club that I possibly wanted to. And then I was bombarded with like emails like, hey, come to these meetings. Then I kind of had to like prioritize and say like, well, I'd really like to be a part of this club, but like cereal club might not make it this year. You know, like this is something that might not happen. So, but it's so easy to get involved, and I think it's one of the best things that you can do your freshman year, because in those like clubs and activities, that's another way for you to like make friends and bond with people, especially with the same interests as you.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
Do you feel like it was easy to like space out the clubs that you're in, like pick and choose, or did you feel like?
I think right toward like after the activities fair, I tried to go to like all of the club meetings, and then it just kind of like became overwhelming. I was like, like I can't do this.
Yeah.
So some of them I kind of had to like let go of and not be a part of, but the ones that I was really passionate about, I stayed involved with.
So like definitely
Yeah.
the passion is like what you say.
Right.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I think for me, I mean, I'm like crazy involved now, but I was definitely not that involved my freshman year. It took me a while to like leave my room. It was I would probably describe my freshman year first semester like a Netflix binge all the time. Any Criminal Minds fans? I watched Criminal Minds. Like I've watched it all the first semester. I know. I mean, other than like pledging in my fraternity and joining like a small business organization, like really and it's not that I didn't have the opportunity, like you said, it's so presented. I think it was just like I was just kind of like taking it in. So I mean, either both ways, like even if you don't get involved right away, you still have the opportunity to get involved, whether you're a freshman or a junior or a senior. So yeah, I think that was. What about you? Did you get involved right away?
No.
Okay.
I like it took me like worse. Probably I was probably that one person that would just go to class and like go home, go to my dorm, because I was like pretty homesick too. So like over the weekends I would go home all the time. But it kind of took me a while to like realize that I really wasn't doing anything with like my time at Bradley, because I saw like all my friends getting involved, and like my mom didn't let me join a sorority, but like it took me like a couple convincing for her to let me and stuff like that. So like in high school, like I wasn't used to being involved, so that's why it was like it had to like come out of me to take that initiative and like start getting involved. And like when I tell people now like that I wasn't involved, they're like, oh, you're crazy, like is that really true, like you're lying or whatever, because I'm pretty involved now. Like I know what things like I love to do and stuff on campus, so
yeah, no, definitely. Shoot, you said something that like I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. I think just like finding your place is just like really easy with like everything, whether that be like finding your place with your roommate, whether you like want to join the same things, or if you want to like break out. It's just like so easy to become you, I think. And I think that's the most important part. So but yeah, with oh shoot, I can't remember what it was. I don't know, you said something and I was like, oh, Joanna, yes. But yeah, I think another thing that a lot of people think about is like, how am I with all of that free time? So let's say you've got your course load and then you get involved, and like, how am I going to balance a social life with that? Like, how am I going to have time to like get lunch with my friends, or going home on the weekend? I think that's what it was, going home on the weekend. Yeah, and I think that it's really. For me, it was really easy to balance in social time and be able to see my friends and go home. I really only went home for like the breaks that we had. So we got like a fall break right in the beginning of October, and then Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's really all I went home. But I know you went home more. And then looking back on that now, what do you think?
Like that I went home so often? I kind of wish I didn't, because like I feel like I kind of missed out on like, not that I felt like I missed out in general, but like I could have done more with my time too. Like maybe connected with my roommate even more, or like gone to like those events on campus that will never happen again.
Right.
And those are things that at the time I didn't feel were that important, but now I realize like, oh man, I'm paying for the speaker to come. It's coming out of my tuition and I'm not there.
Yeah.
So like just stuff like that. Like I would definitely like suggest like not going home as often.
Yeah.
Like I would literally go home like almost every weekend. And like, but like now like just being more involved too has helped me like want to stay on campus, and like I said, like seek out all those events that are like so cool to go to, that like you won't, like those speakers won't ever come again, or if there's concerts on campus. So like, that definitely like helps a lot now too, like being aware of those events and like wanting to go to them.
Right.
And I think as far as me for like balancing like social and like academic work, like even like some of my friends, if we're like, oh hey, like we all need to go to the library and study, so like let's all just sit at a table together and like study together, and like even though we're not like hanging out and like doing something silly, we're all just like together and like we can like chit chat if we want to.
Studying.
Right, we're studying, but we're also like hanging out and like just chatting. So I think that like that's been a way that I can still study and get some stuff done, but also like socialize.
Right.
And honestly, like there is like a lot of free time. So if you do manage your time, you're like, oh, I have this time set aside for classes, and these are the times that I have like activities. You do have time to be able to find time to spend with your friends, which is really important still.
And I mean, that's like the lifelong skills that you learn too, and just like being at college is like time management, I think, is like the biggest thing, that probably one of the most important things that I'm still mastering. So yeah, definitely.
Is there anything that you wish you would have known, like while you were deciding for schools? Like if you can go back and tell yourself, like.
That's a good one. So I mean, I knew Bradley was my school right from the start. Things I wish I would have known, like coming on like move-in day and kind of that transition. I wish I would have, like, it's hard even now to manage like in school Bradley life and then like family outside. So like remembering like, hey, like my little sister is still there, I can still give her a call and stuff like that. I think I wish I would have done more of that when I was a freshman. And like, sure, I was always like, oh my gosh, I'm doing so well. Like, yes, Mom, I'm eating, and like, stuff like that. But I think I still wish that I would have like, I wish that I think I would have gone home like just a little bit more to still like be able to tell them, oh my gosh, I'm having such a great time. But yeah, I mean, really like just telling myself, and it's, you know, it's easy for me to say now, but just to like not worry as much, because like that worry is going to take away from like those like unleaping bounds of excitement I could have had. So yeah.
I think I would just say to like embrace all the fun of like Welcome Week and everything that Bradley has to offer, because like if you really jump in and like make the best of the opportunity that you have, you're really gonna enjoy it and like make a home for yourself here. If you just kind of like, you know, go at it half-hearted, then you might find yourself like wanting to go home more, or like not feeling comfortable on campus. And I think that is like one of the best ways to make a home for yourself here is just to like put yourself out there. And I think that's really great to be able to do, and I wish I would have done more of that.
Yeah, like kind of going off of that, I always say like getting outside your comfort zone is like the best way to like find yourself, just because you never know like who else is out there that has the same interests as you. And like you said too, like at Bradley you'll find someone that has like the same interests as you, and like you'll people you can relate with and people you have a home with. So like just definitely like not being afraid to do things on your own, and then also like you'll find those people that have the same interests as you.
Oh my gosh, I would give so much to go back to freshman year and do it all over. When you said like Welcome Week and embracing it, like it's weird because you know you only get Welcome Week as a freshman once, and then you know then you get involved, and then you're like running around trying to make sure the booth is set up and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's just like it's great, and I just like thinking back to it, I just remember you like just stick with your floor, and then you know they take you to all that stuff, and it was just like it was just a whole different world, and it was just like eye-opening and amazing, something I didn't think I was gonna be able to do. So yeah, but I don't know. Let's see. What is your favorite part about Bradley?
Oh, you can go first.
I think my favorite part about Bradley is the opportunities that are available for you. To like we've been saying it like over and over again, but like to get involved, but also the opportunities to connect with people and like network with other people and like the career field that you're interested in, or even just like meeting people who are like leaders in the organization and like having them as mentors, or like aspiring to like have those same leadership skills as you. I think that has helped my growth a lot at Bradley, because like I've changed like completely in like a good way, and it's all those like opportunities that have been offered.
I think one of the things that I love the most about Bradley is like all of the resources that you have here. So like even just like being able to like go in and talk to faculty at their office hours, or being able to, I don't know, like have like the Smith Career Center to help you like write a resume, or like even being able to talk to like peer mentors. Like that's just such a good resource to be able to have, you know, to just like help you adjust to college well. And I think that's something that has been really helpful to me even in just the last like 3 months.
Oh yeah. And then for me, I would say it's just the overall community. Like everyone is just so happy to be here and just happy to be them and happy to be involved in what they're involved in. And it's so cool that like we all support each other too. Like just like, I mean, we always say like the big Bradley family, but I think like I can't imagine going somewhere else that like, you know, it's just, I don't have that, because that's been such a staple in my like success and just my love here. So
so that's definitely a good note to end off on. And if you have any other questions about Bradley, feel free to like message us on, some of us are inside Bradley too, or if you just want to message the admissions Twitter, Facebook page, or even Instagram, calling our office. We're always open to answering any questions. This was really fun, getting to know all of y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.